Hello, run down the plot.
Run down the plot. Well, if something's going on, and
Something's happening somewhere.
and tune in to find out what. No, we're cruising along, and this is episode 4 of season 2. A very strange. Well, not strange. It's important.
Yeah, it's important. You know, it's kind of a minor story, but
What happens is they're just cruising through the galaxy as they normally do, the crew of the Enterprise, and on long-range sensors they detect a Class M planet which is habitable,
yeah,
and it doesn't show up on Vulcan star charts, and they have no information on it. So Archer says, "Let's go have a quick look. You know, we're on the we're kind of have carte blanche to do whatever we want right now." So they go to investigate, and the ship pulls up, and you know it looks like a habitable planet, and then side of the ship just blows off.
right.
And it's a pretty significant piece of damage that's done there. They don't know what's going on. At first they think it's like a torpedo attack, or maybe it's the Suliban coming back for round 8. But once the dust settles and they full stop and they start putting their scanning devices out trying to find cloaked ships, they realize they've stumbled into a minefield.
Which bothers me. Because, okay, here's a thing. This happens occasionally in like shows or in movies. It's like, okay, we're in the middle of a minefield, okay, and let's do the scan, and they pull the visuals up on screen, and they're just surrounded. These mines are everywhere. How did we get so deep into this minefield without setting one off before?
Yeah.
And now they're everywhere, you know.
Dumb luck, you know. I guess that's the whole thing. Like, you should have been able to just, you know, reverse out very slowly and been all right. But they also say these mines are moving too.
Okay.
So, you know, you can always say
They decided to let us in?
perhaps it was an active minefield that once that one detected, swarmed and surrounded them.
And the whole thing about this episode is one of these buggers got caught onto the hull.
Yeah, caught onto the hull. And, well,
Didn't go off.
the start of the episode is also another charming scene.
Oh, yes,
And,
yes.
Charming breakfast.
Captain Dinner or Captain Breakfast.
Captain Breakfast is Archer's new nickname. But it comes out that he's systematically taking each of his senior staff aside and trying to get to know them a little
Having
bit
his
more.
way with them, basically.
Ravishing them.
Ravishing
But the candidate this time is Reed, the head armory officer, the stiff upper lip of Britain, born again on the bridge of the Enterprise. And he can't relax. And it's charming how much he stumbles around basic conversation. It's hard for him to relate to a superior officer.
Well, it's hard for him to relate to men.
In general, he doesn't enjoy sport. Doesn't.
Because he seems to get along very well with the women. If his backstory is to be believed.
Yes.
He broke like 20 hearts before he got on the Enterprise.
And so the resident Lothario and the captain, their breakfast was cut short by said mine detonation. And then they've, upon scanning and finding them all, one is attached to the hull. And they don't know if it's primed to explode, but they're going to see what they can do to get it off the ship and see if they can get out of the minefield unscathed. But once again, things go awry. So
They send out Malcolm to go and remove it. Disarm it, remove it if you can.
yeah.
And he's doing his thing there, scanning. All of a sudden,
A foot?
I guess a foot comes
Yeah.
out of this mine, and it like impales his leg to the.
Yeah, pins him to the
down.
ship. And he's not quite... he's so willing to give up his life for the cause.
He's a Navy man. I think he was serving with the Navy, but that goes back in his family history. Generations. And it's kind of like a thing of pride. Oh, all of my ancestors
Went down with the ship.
went down with a ship.
It's like, well, how did you ever exist if all your forefathers kept dying? But, no, and they send the captain out he's one of the few guys that has experience enough to deal with this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And he's going to go free read and figure things out. Should be a simple, smooth operation.
They got a backup plan. If things go into hell, just detach the hull piece. And,
yeah, we'll be all right.
Yeah.
But then another curveball gets thrown in the form of one of the legacy races of Star Trek. The first time ever seeing a Romulan presence in Star Trek. Well, I guess in a timeline.
In the timeline, yeah.
It turns out that this planet has been blockaded by the Romulan Star Empire. And for whatever reason, maybe it's a listening outpost, what have you, they're forcing Enterprise to basically get out of Dodge as quick as possible or you will be destroyed. And that puts a timer on this, what should be a very simple procedure.
Delicate but simple.
Yeah. And it's a race against time, and the A plan looks like it's not going to have enough time. The B plan is going to lose both the captain and your armory officer, and maybe take out a good chunk of the ship. And then the third option is, well, the Romulans just destroy you. So it's a race against the clock. And it was an interesting episode. I don't remember this episode as much as the first time through when I saw it.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to see the Romulans front and center. In my mind, it was very, very shadowy the first time we saw them. This, they're actually communicating with the Enterprise. They're hailing them, and at first it's hard to understand the Romulan dialect or whatever cipher they're putting over their transmissions. But they're still new on the block, so they're enforcing things very.
That is kind of weird when you think about it, because everything about the Vulcans is ancient, and the Romulans. Not really.
Not really. I mean, there was a split.
Yeah.
But the split is a lot closer to in time frame than is expected. Like they're still a fledgling empire, and they're still very good at keeping on the undercurrent. They're everything that the Vulcans aren't, which is Vulcans by and large aren't deceptive people. It's one of their tenets, but the Romulans, they got no problems of. They use cloaking devices. They'll disguise entire planets and take them off star charts. The Tal Shiar at this time in the.
Do they even exist at this time?
Yes, like they were a huge part of the birth of the Romulan Star Empire. More, I guess, at this point like a cult than an organization. But it's still a very dangerous group, and it was enough to really put the pressure on Enterprise to figure out a solution on how to get these people out of here. And the final solution was pretty much a mixture of everything.
It's like, it was like all of the above. We'll do everything, okay? They came up with this harebrained idea. Okay, what I need is a couple of doors, Archer says.
Yeah.
And what we're going to do, you're going to detach the hull. I'm going to detach Reed
from the bomb.
Shield the bomb blast. We're going to set it off, and the shields will block us, and you'll come get us.
Yeah.
Come get us later.
Go get it.
It's a bit like that one movie where it was on a train or something like that. The train is going down, it's crashing, and the guy's outrunning the crash.
Oh, Under Siege 2.
Under Siege 2, okay.
Yeah, it's a harebrained scheme, but of course you've got the A squad of Starfleet working on it, so aside from a few hiccups and maybe a little bit of bruising here and there, they pull it off.
Yeah.
In a very high action
This
scene.
is the dumbest. Like, we're all scientists.
We're all scientists. The best thing we got is basically putting manhole covers up in front of a bomb and hoping that it's enough. But it was a strangely fun episode. My first time through Enterprise, I didn't much care for Reed, and he's growing on me. He's quirky, he's odd, but there's something about him that's very likable and you can understand where he comes from.
You've always liked those military men, though.
I have, and that's why I found it weird that the first time through I was very lukewarm, if not cold, on him. Maybe it's because whenever I saw him on screen, I either checked out or went to get a soda or something. But no, he's got good depth, and after this episode, I hope I get to see a little bit more of him as the series goes on. What do you think about the continuity of episodes so far in Enterprise?
Enterprise is about, at this point in the series, is about like 60, 70 light years from home.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to kind of get that in my head because I don't think the planet that they visited was a listening outpost, because that'd be a way 7M class planet. And where does the Romulan Star Empire begin? How far away are they?
Like the beginnings of it aren't too far away from where they are actually. Like in Star Trek, they always talk about like the demilitarized zone.
It doesn't exist at this time.
No, because they still haven't gone to war with them, which actually happens fairly soon. But at this point, they kind of have free reign over their neck of the woods.
Yeah. And
nobody's holding them in check. And that becomes an issue once the Romulans start getting power, which kind of happens a little bit later. They've got some interesting stuff coming in the later seasons, so this will be interesting. But it's a good first introduction for the Romulans. Very cool ship design too.
Yeah.
I'm not sure many of our viewers remember the original Romulans. Basically,
one with a bird painted underneath.
Yeah, they painted birds on them. This one just has the cool kind of modern, everything's green, glowy look, and it's effective. So I was happy with this episode, and looking forward to seeing them again. Hopefully very soon. But we'll leave that to next time. So Al, set us off.
To the moon! To the moon!
That's it. Let's go.